Somebody commented on my outfit. No, literally, that's probably why I didn't keep it down. He was like, is that a uniform? And I was like, no. I go to college.
Right.
I was like, I was dressing up nice. Like, what did the other interviewees come in looking like? Because usually I can get the interviewee to like me pretty much and then hire me. Though I've had some issues.
That's what's up.
What?
No, I said that's what's up. That's what's up.
Like, yeah, I had Schnooks hire me on the spot. That's why I was like, when India said something, I was like, yeah, I was hired there for like 15 minutes.
Wow.
I decided to go to Kohl's. That's why I was hired there for 15 minutes. This is probably
I
the
love
worst.
jobs that hire on the spot, man.
Well, Schnooks a lot. Okay, they do. They have applications online, but they like never will hire you that way. They have a lot of open, kind of open job fairs, and that tends to be where they hire you. Yeah, he liked me on the spot. I don't know why. I kind of wish that I chose Schnooks because Kohl's sucks. Oh, okay. I don't have any questions.
You told you?
You want to first?
Yeah, I was going to first. Alright, so.
Are you recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Let me just double check too. Let me just double check. Because that'll be.
If we are not recording,
right, yeah, we
look at it and you're going to be like,
right, we're good. Okay, cool. So, Kiersten, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I go to Webster University. I've had 2 other jobs, and then also I've worked on non-for-profits. So for Webster University, I'm a media comm major, mainly in film. That's my main interest, even though I plan on going and getting my bachelor's in sociology, sex and gender, but that's, yeah. I worked at Steak and Shake and Kohl's, but I also do non-for-profit work, so I work at the Scholar Shop, which is in Webster Groves down there, and Canterbury, which they give jobs for special needs adults, so I've worked in those areas.
Now, how have those jobs helped prepare you for the job that you're trying to apply for now?
Well, especially non-for-profit, because I like to do a lot of directing in kind of like social science kind of field. So I like things like sex and gender, like I want to go into. I like a lot of race issues. Like a lot of social things, class, which isn't really talked about a lot. The fact that I've worked for non-for-profits definitely gives me a different perspective. I mean, because Canterbury is special needs, so it's one focus, and then Scholar Shop is more students focused, so there's 2 different perspectives. I've been involved in a lot of special needs since I was young, because my sister is technically special needs, and so I've been involved in a lot of like those kind of areas, so I have that perspective. But like once you get under your belt, like more not-for-profits, it definitely gives you different like edges, and like where you kind of focus on certain things, and I've definitely focused on certain things, but when you step into some fields that are more like you haven't visited, so like I am a student, but I've not looked at the financial side, and having that aspect definitely gives me a different perspective than I would have before.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
A director. So this job, I really want to be able to direct documentaries, and then of course I want to do that while I'm a professor. And so I want to have those jobs correlate. So I really want to be ultimately a sociology professor with a sex and gender kind of like field, but I also, with my directing, want to focus on like everything.
Okay. And how did you come about actually picking or selecting your major now?
Well, I was a film major, and Webster has a great film program, and I will say yes, it's a great film program, but I like documentaries, and I felt kind of held back with the film program here. So I was like, what else can I do while still doing film? And I was like, well, there's this media comm major. I also looked at script writing, and I looked at another media literacy, because media literacy also correlates with human rights and sociology and all that. But media comm gives you the most range, so you can it's broader. You can do film, you can do journalism, you can do like all the spectrums of communications field. So it was a lot better than just having to focus on film and dealing with issues.
And you mentioned earlier, as far as like you said, you felt as though that the filmmaking kind of somewhat held you back. Is it from a teaching standpoint or just?
It was teaching, because the way they have the film program set up at Webster is the professors, they're great, but like they don't know as much as I feel like they could, and they have a lot of limitations. So when you're giving projects, it has to be specific, and I wanted to actually give my flavor, and I felt like I couldn't give my own artistic value at the film program. I felt like it had to be the professor's way or no way.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what have you done outside of the classroom to help you prepare for your documentary work?
I am involved in groups that are involved, like do human rights things. Like I do human rights stuff outside of school. I do my non-for-profits. I also do video work for YouTube. The video work for YouTube specifically is my own work, so then I'm able to actually express myself. That's why it's very important that I want to get like a camera, and so I can actually be able to do my own stuff versus like I have film stuff that is, from Webster, but it's more kind of story based, and my YouTubes are more about me, more of a kind of documentary about me and school life, and I had it from my senior year in high school to now. So I'm talking about like my experiences when I graduated, when I was in London, my freshman year. So it was very like documentary of myself and the process to getting to now to getting into a documentary and working as a director.
Are you into blogging as well?
Yeah, I blog.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about that as well.
Okay, so vlogging, I have characters that I do for other stuff, but for vlogging, I tend to just talk about either opinions. So I have certain vlogs that are subject-based, and then I have certain vlogs that are about myself. So then I kind of talk about like how my day's gone, or like if I had a job, I got a job, relationships, kind of identifying, because there was a point in time where I was kind of working on like finding myself. So there was that point of talking like about, positive things, like, transitioning from being a senior in high school to transferring to being a freshman, and like how I've grown. Getting into more human rights things. I was into sociology and human rights, but then when I got here at Webster, I was more like, hey, this is something I'm really interested in, and so it really grew, and that's kind of what my vlogs took into perspective. So when I'm talking about myself, I also have that opinion, and then I also have more of an opinion blog where it's like a certain subject for that day.
If you are selected for this company, what is the vision that you want to get out to the people, or like what is the message that you think that we need to get out?
since you're a very human rights kind of company, very focused on like things abroad and things here, I would personally I would like anything that you guys do. And then of course what I would like to bring to the table is just a lot of abroad stuff comparing to the United States. I enjoy that, and I know that you guys have done some of that stuff. Personally working, I would like to do more of your, where you guys go through to different countries. I would love to do that and look at certain people and then compare it to the United States and bring that into the United States, because that's my major, thing is like actually bringing more human rights video to the United States and into the theaters. So.
And as far as like in a workplace environment, what is a weakness for you, and what do you have to improve on?
I want to say my weakness is my passion for human rights and for sociology, because I absolutely truthfully, that is like what my daily thoughts are. So it's very focused on either like what I'm learning or like what I need to learn or like what I need to improve on, because a lot of things with sociology is we point out what issues, like if you are white and you have to realize that, you know, there's issues that comes with like just being white. You don't sometimes realize that you don't race yourself, and like realizing like daily things that are harder for other people, and are like sexism and things like that. You really have to realize like cisgender, like all those kind of things, like what it brings to you is like thinking and processing every day, versus like some people don't think about that. They just kind of like they just go with the flow, and they don't realize like even like small things can affect interactions, and they might not realize like what they did, but other people are going to realize that.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. Okay. Have you ever thought about being an activist? Maybe like in the future, like just I know you said 5 years down the road you'll be director, things of that nature. But have you ever thought about like being an activist or being like a spokesperson for the company, maybe?
I would definitely want to do that. I feel like my major thing is with activism is my art. So I love like putting activism in art. I think that's possibly the best way. I know there's like protesting, things like that. Those are great ways, but especially to get to big groups is through photography, through the media, because our media is what we're centered around.
Right.
And that's why I have the communications background, because like I feel like to really understand sociology or human rights or any of like those psych majors and all those, they really need to understand media, because we are so centered around, like we don't even realize how centered we are. Right. That is the best way to be an activist.
Before I close out, do you have any other questions for me, or do you have anything else to say?